Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive on starting an online business.
Sounds good.
But, like, how to avoid some of the big mistakes.
Yeah.
We're dissecting a guide called 5 Mistakes to Avoid When Starting an Online Business.
Okay.
So think of this as your roadmap
Right.
to help you sidestep those common pitfalls
Yeah.
and hopefully set yourself up for success from the very beginning.
Absolutely.
We'll cover things you might not have even thought about.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
why building an email list before you have a product is so important.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Are you ready to dive in?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. So this guide really emphasizes treating your online business
Yeah.
like a real business right from the start.
Right from day one.
Not just some hobby.
Exactly like an actual enterprise.
So, okay, no pajamas and working from the couch all day.
Well, maybe.
I
Sometimes.
was kidding. Sort of. But seriously,
Yeah.
speaking of structure, the guide starts with the importance of having a plan.
It does. Right out of the gate, it stresses a roadmap.
Mm.
It doesn't need to be some crazy 20-page document, but just a clear direction,
Like so.
where you're going with the business.
So like a blueprint.
Exactly. Like if you were building a house without a blueprint,
Oh, yeah.
you just end up with a jumbled mess.
That's true.
Rooms leading to nowhere.
A nightmare.
And it's the same with your business without a plan.
Right.
You risk wasting so much time
Yeah.
and resources chasing
In
ideas
every direction.
everywhere.
Yeah. So a plan keeps you focused.
Laser focused, yeah.
And you can actually, like, see how you're doing.
You can measure the progress.
And speaking of focus, the guide talks about finding your niche.
Ah, yes, the niche.
I know everyone talks about niches, but
Right.
this guide digs a little deeper into that.
Okay, I like it.
It talks about the Goldilocks zone.
Interesting.
Not too broad, not too narrow.
Yeah, it makes sense because your niche impacts
Everything.
almost every decision you'll make in the business.
Seriously.
Like, think about it. It influences the competition you face,
Oh, right.
how much you can actually charge for things,
Mm-hmm.
and whether you're reaching the right people.
People who actually want what you're offering.
Exactly.
It's like when I was first starting my podcast, if I'd tried to cover every topic under the sun,
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't have had any clear identity.
Well, nobody would know what it was about.
No one would know what to expect.
You'd be all over the place.
Exactly. And the guide says to start with your passions and knowledge
Yes, use what you're already good at.
as a jumping off point.
What excites you, you know.
Okay, that's helpful.
Narrow it down from there.
So mistake number 2 is not knowing your audience.
Okay.
We've all heard that build it and they will come
Right,
thing,
right.
but it just doesn't work online.
No, it's a crowded space.
It really is.
You can't just throw something out there
And hope people trip over it.
and hope people find it
You
there.
really have to understand your audience.
Deeply. Who are they?
Who are they?
What are their hopes and their frustrations?
What keeps them up at night?
Yeah, like what are their pain points?
The guide talks about creating a customer avatar,
I love that.
which I think is such a good idea.
It is because it forces you to get specific.
It's like painting a portrait of your ideal customer.
Yes, exactly.
What's their age, their lifestyle, their biggest fears?
Their secret hopes,
Yeah, all of that.
all the details.
And the guide even has some really good examples
It does.
of how knowing these details shapes things.
It shapes your product choices
And your marketing.
and your marketing. Absolutely.
Like if you're selling luxury travel packages,
Right.
you wouldn't advertise on a budget travel blog.
Makes sense.
Okay, so this next mistake is where things get juicy.
Okay, tell me.
It's not building an email list right away.
Uh,
The guide actually says the money is in the list.
Interesting. I've heard that before. But
It sounds kind of mysterious.
what does that actually mean?
Break it down for us.
So it's about building a direct line of communication to the people who actually want to hear from you.
So they're not just random people.
Right. It's like a VIP club
I like it.
of folks who are already interested.
They've opted in.
They've opted in. Exactly.
So instead of relying on like social media and algorithms,
Yeah, you're not at the mercy of those.
you're speaking directly to people.
Exactly.
So even if I don't even have a product yet,
Yes.
I should still be building my email list.
Absolutely. It's like planting seeds for the future.
Okay,
Or building relationships, providing value, and establishing yourself as an expert.
got it. And the guide suggests offering something free,
It does.
like a free gift
yes.
in exchange for signing up,
To get people excited about joining your list.
like a sneak peek behind the curtain.
Exactly. It could be an ebook, a
It-
checklist, a discount code.
Anything valuable.
Anything your ideal customer would find valuable.
And this free gift, it does 2 things, right?
Yeah.
It gets people to sign up,
Incentivizes them.
but it also gives you a chance to show what you know
Demonstrate your expertise.
and build that trust.
Exactly.
Okay, mistake number 4. Neglecting customer questions and comments. I know it sounds simple,
It does.
but when you're doing everything yourself,
Right, when you're wearing all the
it's
hats.
easy to let things slip.
It's true.
But this guide is interesting because it positions your online business as like a social platform,
Yeah.
not just about transactions.
Right.
It's about building real
It's
relationships.
about connection.
Exactly.
So responding to comments and emails
Thoughtfully.
thoughtfully,
Mm-hmm.
even if it takes more time,
Even if it takes a little bit longer.
it's worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that I can get behind that.
Yeah, me too.
Welcome back to our deep dive into avoiding those 5 big mistakes.
Yeah, when starting an online business.
Exactly. We've already uncovered some great stuff.
We have.
And I'm excited to go even deeper.
Me too. Let's do it.
So we've talked about having a plan, finding your niche, understanding your audience.
Right, and that all-important email list.
But let's get into some strategies now.
Yeah, how to put all this into action.
Okay, so let's go back to having a plan for a second.
Okay.
The guide really stresses even a simple plan is helpful.
It can be a total game changer.
But what should be in it?
Right.
Like, where do you even start?
Well, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of everything
It is.
and just launching a business
Right.
and forget about those practical things.
Yeah, and that's where a plan comes in.
That's where it's so helpful.
And you said it doesn't have to be some big formal document.
No, you don't need a novel,
Okay.
but you do need a few key elements.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, you need to figure out your goals.
Okay.
What do you actually want to achieve with this business?
Right.
Are you trying to replace your full-time income?
Good question.
Is this a side hustle?
Are you building a community?
Yeah, what's the big picture?
Once you know the goals
Then you can start making a plan.
to get there.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's like setting a destination before a road trip.
I like that analogy.
You need to know where you're going before you even think about a route.
Exactly. And speaking of mapping out a route,
Okay.
your plan should also include your target audience.
Makes sense.
Who are you actually trying to reach?
With your products or services or
What
whatever.
are offerings, exactly.
Right.
What are their needs, their desires, what are their pain points?
What they want.
Yeah, and the guide suggests those customer avatars.
Oh, yeah, I loved that idea.
I think it's such a powerful exercise.
It is because it's like bringing your ideal customer to life.
It is. You're giving them a name and a story.
Yeah, I can even picture them.
I
The more detail you can add,
The better. Yeah.
like what kind of car do they drive?
What are their favorite brands?
Where do they hang out online?
What are their values?
It's like you're writing a character in a novel.
It is, but this character is your ideal customer.
And by understanding this character so well,
Yeah.
you can shape your marketing,
Your product offerings.
your customer service.
Everything to resonate with them.
This is so cool. I'm already thinking about my own customer avatar.
You should. So helpful.
All right, let's keep going. The guide also says to outline
Okay.
your product or service offerings in your plan.
That's important too.
But like, how much detail do we need?
Think of it as your product roadmap.
Okay.
What are you actually selling?
Right.
How will it solve your customers' problems?
What makes it stand out?
Will you have different price points?
This is where you really figure
The
out
core of your business.
the heart of it all.
Exactly.
And I guess this is where you think about pricing too.
Absolutely. How much will you charge?
For your stuff.
Yeah, for your products or services.
Right.
And that depends on a lot of things.
Okay, like what?
Your costs,
Yeah.
your target market, your competitors.
The competition.
The guide actually says to research them,
Oh, that's interesting.
see what they're charging and how they're positioning themselves.
It's like you're a detective.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. I like it. And then, of course, the plan should cover marketing.
That's a big one.
How are you going to reach people?
And promote what you have to offer.
Right. Are you using social media, content marketing, ads?
Email marketing,
All of the above.
maybe combination, yeah.
So this is where you figure out
How to spread the word.
about your awesome products or services.
Yeah.
And one thing the guide emphasizes
Yes.
is treating your online business like a real business,
From day one,
even if it's a side hustle.
especially if it's a side hustle,
Why is that so important?
because it changes your mindset
Okay,
from hobbyist to entrepreneur.
I like that.
It makes you think about profitability,
Mm-hmm.
sustainability, and long-term growth.
That makes sense.
And it helps you set boundaries and use your time wisely.
Because side hustles can easily take over.
They can bleed into your personal life.
Exactly.
So a plan helps with that.
Okay, let's move on to mistake number 2,
Okay.
not knowing your audience.
Yeah,
We talked about customer avatars earlier,
we did.
but let's go deeper into that.
Okay, I'm ready for a deep dive.
So imagine you're sitting down with your ideal customer.
Okay, I can do that.
What's their name? What do they do for a living?
What are their hobbies?
What are they afraid of?
What keeps them up at night?
Yeah, their hopes and dreams.
You're painting a picture.
It's not just some nameless customer anymore.
Right. You can relate to them.
I understand them.
Yeah. And the more details you can add,
The better.
the better. Yeah.
Like, what kind of car do they drive?
What are their favorite brands?
Where do they spend time online?
What are their values?
It's like we're writing a character for a movie.
Except this character is your ideal customer.
And by knowing them so well,
Yeah.
we can tailor our marketing to them.
Your product offerings.
Our customer service.
Everything. Yeah.
This is blowing my mind.
It's a powerful exercise.
Okay, let's talk about mistake number 3.
Okay.
Not building an email list from the beginning.
Right from day one.
The guide says it's fundamental.
It is.
And I'm intrigued. I get social media,
Yeah.
but email seems a little old school.
It might seem that way,
In today's world.
but it's still one of the most effective ways
Really?
to connect with your audience
Interesting.
and build those lasting relationships.
So unlike social media.
Where algorithms control everything,
Right.
you have complete control over your email list.
So you're not at the mercy of Facebook or Instagram. So it's like you have a direct line to people.
Who are already interested in what you have to offer.
They've raised their hand and said, yes, I want to hear from you.
Exactly.
And they're more likely to actually engage.
To open your emails and buy something.
Because they're not just scrolling through their feed.
Right, they're actively looking for information from you.
That makes a lot of sense. And the guide suggests offering a free gift.
It does.
To get people to sign up.
To incentivize them, yeah.
Like, what kind of free gift works best?
Well, it needs to be valuable to your audience. Something that solves a specific problem for them.
Helps them achieve something.
Exactly. It could be an ebook, a checklist, a template, a video series.
Even a discount code.
Or access to a private community.
So you're giving them a taste of your value.
And establishing yourself as an expert.
Building that trust right away.
From the beginning.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to mistake number 4.
Okay.
Neglecting customer questions and comments.
Yeah.
It's easy to get overwhelmed.
It is when you're doing it all yourself.
And let this one slip.
It's true.
But the guide is really interesting here.
Okay, tell me more.
Because it says to think of your online business like a social platform.
Okay.
It's not just about selling things.
It's about building relationships.
Exactly.
And answering questions and comments thoughtfully is key.
It's like that saying, people do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Right. And that personal touch matters.
Especially online.
Where it's easy to feel disconnected.
It can be so impersonal.
So the guide says to take time with those replies.
Even if it takes a bit longer.
Make them personal.
Even a simple thank you can go a long way.
It shows you care.
And those customer interactions.
They're gold.
They really are.
Pay attention to the questions they're asking.
What are their challenges?
It's like free market research.
Right, from the source.
Exactly.
Okay, I need to get better at that.
It's a good habit to build.
It is. Let's talk about the last mistake now.
Okay.
Trying to grow too fast.
Yes, I struggle with this one too.
Me too. I get so excited about new ideas.
Me too. I want to do everything at once.
I know, but the guide says to resist that urge.
Why is that?
Why is it so important to not expand too quickly?
Well, because it can be a lot on your resources,
It can.
your systems, and your ability to maintain quality.
Oh, I see.
The guide says focus on a solid foundation first.
Okay.
Build your brand reputation and deliver amazing customer service.
Those are the basics?
They are the cornerstones.
And those things take time.
They do. It's slow and steady wins the race.
Exactly.
So don't get caught up in the overnight success thing.
It's not realistic.
No, focus on building something authentic to you.
Something sustainable.
And something that helps your audience.
I love that advice.
It's quality over quantity.
Slow and steady growth.
And being proud of what you build.
Okay, so we've covered a lot in this episode.
We have from planning to knowing your audience.
To email lists and not growing too fast.
It's been a great deep dive.
And in the final part,
Yes.
we'll wrap up these mistakes with even more tips and insights.
And help you navigate this exciting world of online business.
Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to our deep dive.
We're in the final stretch now.
I know it's been a lot of information.
It has, but it's all so important.
It is. We've talked about having a plan, knowing your audience,
Building that email list, prioritizing customer service.
and not growing too fast.
Like all those key mistakes to avoid.
So let's bring it all together now.
Okay.
What are the big takeaways?
Yeah. How can people actually use this stuff?
Okay, so mistake number 1, not having a plan.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started my podcast, I was so eager to just jump in, start recording, editing,
I get it.
and I totally skipped planning.
That's a common mistake.
It is. I was just so excited.
The excitement takes over.
It does, but as we said, a plan is like your roadmap.
It keeps you on track.
Make sure you're moving in the right direction.
And the guide says to treat your online business like a real business.
From day one.
Even if it's a side hustle.
Why is that so crucial?
It's all about mindset.
Okay.
When you take it seriously, you make better decisions.
You're more likely to actually succeed.
You set yourself up for success. Yeah.
And a plan helps with that.
It forces you to think about the details.
Like profitability, long-term growth.
And setting boundaries too.
Okay, let's talk about mistake number 2.
Right.
Not knowing your audience.
Right.
We talked about customer avatars.
We did.
But what are some other ways to learn about your target market?
One of the best ways is direct feedback.
Ask them what they want.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to ask.
How do we encourage that, though?
Lots of ways you can do surveys.
Polls, quizzes.
Q&A sessions on social media.
You could even offer a little incentive.
Like a discount code.
And then all this feedback helps you
refine your products.
Your market strategy. It's like a direct line to the people you're trying to reach.
It is. And speaking of direct lines, let's go back to that email list.
It's so important.
It is, even if it seems old school.
I know.
Email marketing is still one of the best tools
to connect with your audience,
to build those relationships,
and turn subscribers into customers.
And unlike social media, you have control over your email list.
You decide what to send and when.
Exactly.
So you're not relying on some algorithm.
Nope.
And the guide says to offer something valuable.
Like a free ebook or a discount.
To get people to sign up.
It shows your expertise and builds trust.
Okay. Mistake number 4. Neglecting customer questions and comments.
Right.
I'm definitely guilty of this one.
It's easy to forget.
When you're busy with everything else.
But remember, those customer interactions,
they matter.
They're opportunities to build relationships.
Strengthen your brand.
And get valuable insights.
It's all about the little things
that make people feel appreciated.
And when people feel valued,
they're more likely to stick around.
Become repeat customers.
Recommend you to their friends.
And if they don't feel valued,
they go somewhere else.
So make customer service a priority.
From day one.
Respond to emails, address concerns.
Go the extra mile to make them happy.
Okay, last mistake.
The final one.
Trying to grow too fast.
I know, I'm always so eager to scale up.
Me too. But the guide says to slow down.
Why is that?
Why is it bad to expand too quickly?
It can be unsustainable.
Okay.
It puts a strain on your resources.
And you might not be able to maintain quality.
Exactly. The guide says to focus on the foundation first.
Build a strong brand, deliver amazing service.
Those are the essentials.
And they take time.
They do. Slow and steady wins the race.
Right.
Don't get caught up in comparing yourself to others.
Focus on your own journey.
Build something authentic and sustainable.
I love that advice.
Quality over quantity.
Slow and steady growth.
Build something you're proud of.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
It has. We've covered so much.
I feel like I have a whole new perspective now.
That's great to hear.
On starting an online business.
Remember, it's a journey.
It is.
There will be ups and downs.
But we can learn from each other.
And avoid those common pitfalls.
That's what this deep dive is all about.
Helping you succeed.
Thanks for joining me.
It was my pleasure.
To our listeners, thanks for tuning in.
And remember, keep learning and growing.
The online world is always changing.
So stay curious, stay adaptable.
And don't be afraid to experiment.
I'll go out there and build something amazing.